the Council of Trent says it has to be the lowest species. What do we even mean by that? The species is the nature of what you did. And so one of the common experiences of priests is that people will come into the confessional, and the Council of Trent puts a series of requirements on the priest about what he has to make sure he gets out of the penitent to make sure that their confessions are even valid. And so he has to watch for these particular things. And so the species, when we say the lowest species, you have to be specific about what you've done. It doesn't mean details, it means specific. So a very common one that you'll see is people will come into the confessional and they'll say, I was impure. What does that even mean? Is that fornication? Is that adultery? Is that pornography? Is that, you could go down the whole litany of all the different forms. It's too broad. And a lot of times people are trying to hide the shame that they have for these particular sins behind kind of a generality or a vagueness. And so very often you have to tell people the Council of Trent requires us to be specific when it comes to mortal sins specifically. Venial sins you can confess generically, but mortal sins have to be confessed specifically. Why? Well, what most people don't realize is that the confessional is, technically speaking, a tribunal. It's a court. You are going to court, literally. The judge, which is the priest, sits on the bench. This is why even civil judges actually wear what looks like a cassock. That's where it came from. And so they sit in a throne, which is an indicator that it's their place to judge. You come in, and there's an accuser. There's a prosecutor. That's you. You accuse yourself of specific crimes against God that you've committed, and then the judge has to take a look at this. Did this guy really ante up everything that all the crimes that he actually committed? Did he do it accurately? You know, or is he just hiding, or is he lying to me? Because sometimes people will even come into the confessional and they don't want to tell the full truth, but they still want the absolution, which means they're not going to get the absolution's not going to be valid. So then the judge has to judge two things, because people say, oh, well, you know, it's not our place to judge. That's actually not true. It's not our place to judge the interior state of somebody, because in order to judge somebody, you have to have knowledge and authority over them. This is the whole problem with sedevacantism. People are passing judgment about the Holy Father's doctrinal statements about his interior state regarding them, not the statements themselves, because we do have an obligation to take a look at those. But when we're talking about the actual interior